Dear viewers, good afternoon, everyone. The pandemic has affected us across cultures, regions, and societies. There are unseen consequences of the pandemic, and there's a load of anxieties and uncertainty on our minds. How to undo it has sustained more than 2 years now of confinement in our homes seems daunting, but equally daunting is the task to deal with children when our own stress levels are high. Children are having adjustment issues, though in their own way they have got somewhat adapted to this lazy, inactive routine because there's no social connect. But they have other issues also, which we shall be talking about. Parenting in pandemic is no less than a challenge. Therefore, we as parents have not just to be mindful, but also open to issues so as we can cope up better with the tough emotions that our children are going through. Let's be better advised. I have invited Dr. AKMAL Shah, who is a well known clinical psychologist and also a founding member of Spark the Peace Builders, to talk us through. Dr. Akmal, I welcome you on behalf of Spark the Peace Builders, so you are a member, and on behalf of all our viewers, kindly take over from here and talk us through positive parenting in times of pandemic. Over to you, Dr.
Keep ourselves up to date about what should we do in dealing with our children. So thanks, Shifan. Thanks for having me here, and thanks all those who are joining us live. So if we talk about this pandemic, as Shifan has already briefed you about that, it has done a lot of damage without having. Can we off the audio? Lots of problems we are facing right now because of this pandemic. So one of the challenges is when we deal as a parent with our children, we face enormous challenge nowadays, because whenever there is whenever we see the children are doing something wrong because of our stressful situation, as we are living right now in a stressful situation, we exhibit our behavior sometimes upon our children, and we are creating more problems for our children as well. So when we talk about positive parenting, what positive parenting is actually it's a set of behaviors. It's a set of behaviors that nurtures a child's capacity, that actually make child able to enhance his or her capacity to love and to trust and to explore and learn that these things which I have explained here in the when I actually defining the positive parenting. These things are very much important. If a child is having the capacity, if he is able to love, if he is able to trust others and their family members, including parents, if he is able to explore and learn new things in their environment, so it's very much he's able to do many things in his day-to-day life. So when we talk about the positive parenting techniques, these are the techniques which can actually help parents and caregivers guide their child's healthy development within the context of family and community. It's very much important here. We put it like within the context of family and community, because every family has different set of rules. Every family is different. Every person, individual, is actually different. When we talk about the personality, when we talk about the emotional setup, when we talk about the family setup, and within that family setup, within that community, they should be able to parents should be able to help their child's healthy development throughout this in context of this pandemic, throughout this pandemic. So it's very much important that we should be able to focus our thoughts on our children, so that they can actually exhibit those behaviors which are in context with the capacity to build the love, trust, and explore and learn. When we talk about this stressful life right now during the time of pandemic, Shifan, is okay? We can take questions later. Yeah,
Yes,
we can
Dr.
take
Saab, we can
questions
take
at the end.
questions later on. You can use a mixed language, Urdu and
Okay.
English.
Okay.
That's no issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. When we talk about the unique stress we are facing as a parent during this COVID-19, we usually see we are facing, like, we don't have any schools. With many schools and workplaces closed we have right now due to the pandemic, many of us have found ourselves dealing with such kind of a situations that often new to us. We have never imagined it. We have never imagined that we will be in that kind of situation where we don't have any kind of relevant experience how to deal with that situation. To this stressful situation, this we are in such a situation for which we don't have any experience how to deal with this kind of a situation, because this situation is totally new for us. This situation is new for us. We have never been we have never had this situation before. uh, I think we are not actually experienced enough experience to deal with this kind of a situation. So it's very much stressful for us. It's very much like sometimes we have to do the household work as well. Sometimes we are working from home as a parent, and likely we are also trying to keep our kids on track with their school work. And this is totally a lot of work we are doing when we are at home. So this the stress is here. The stress is, I think, if anybody among us parents facing a kind of stress, that's totally possible here. That's totally, we can say it, sometimes it is neutral. But when that stress goes up day to day life, when it gets accumulated to the extent that it creates problem in our daily lives. It creates problem in focusing on our children. It creates problem in focusing on the or on our own work. It creates problem like for our own self care. It creates problem on our daily routines. Then we should take that stress very much. We should have the techniques to tackle that stress, because that will create then anxiety, and then that will create depression and other kind of psychological disturbances. So, and we in this pandemic, we have other things to keep in our mind, that we have to follow certain rules that we have never followed before, that we have never followed before throughout our life. That's like social distancing. We have to wash our hands frequently. We have to we are cut off from our parents, from our colleagues, from supporting friends, and from loved ones. That's how we are dealing this new situation. And these new situation may arise new concerns, new consequences, but we need to have those kinds of techniques with us that will enable us to do something better in our lives and to deal with this kind of unprecedented situation. So what needs to be done as a parent? What needs to be done when we talk about the stressful situation in the times of pandemic? See, we need to keep something in our mind, that it's easy to feel that we have so many roles to fulfill. It's easy to feel that we have so many roles to fulfill, that we can't possibly perform any of them all. Sometimes it happens with parents that they have to do the household work. They have to come online for the job as well. They have to deal with the parents. They have to deal with the children. They have to deal with their school work. They have to deal with other household works that are very much important. Then there is cooking and etc. And these kind of things, it's easy sometimes for us to feel that if we feel that I'm not able to do that, see, there's kind of an emotion related to it. There are certain thoughts related to it, that if you feel that you're not able to do something, you are not able to do your daily life course very well. It's okay to feel like that. We must keep this thing in mind, that it's okay if you're feeling like that, because it's not one work you're not able to do. You are engaging yourself in lots of work throughout the day, and those works you need to complete that one by one. But if you're not able to do that, be at ease. Tell yourself that it's okay. There's nothing to worry about this. Okay, that's one thing we should as a parent keep this thing in our mind, huh? But it's important as well to remind yourself that this is a unique situation. It's not a situation that only I'm feeling, only you are feeling as a parent. Okay, you are facing as a parent. Okay, but it's a kind of global health emergency that none of us have had before, because we have never faced this kind of a situation before. And you should remind yourself, you should tell your mind that it's not me, it's not my cousin, it's not my parents, it's not my other relatives, but it's a kind of global health emergency. It's not only we are facing this throughout the world, people are facing right now this kind of a thing. So it's important to tell yourself to keep these things in mind, that we are doing these, we are facing these kinds of situations. Third thing, which is most important, that you should not, as a parent, you should not beat yourself up, that if you're not functioning very well at your usual standards, what you used to do in past. For example, 1 year before the pandemic, you were very up to date, you were doing good work at your home, or out at your workplace, but now you are not able to do that. But if it is not happening right now, what it used to happen in the past, how it used to happen in the past, don't beat yourself up. It is the situation, it's a stressful situation. These things should be kept in mind, that this is the stressful situation. It's because of that I'm not able to do it in a nice way, in a good way. These things may apply to your quality of work as well. These things may upkeeping of the home as well. These things may relate to the ability to keep your kids focused on their schoolwork as well. There are many areas where these things can be related. Because of this, you are not able to have the quality of work, you are not able to keep up your home, you are not able to have a focused attention on your children, about their homework, about their daily other like sports and other things. So let these things be in your mind, that you are doing your best, you are doing your best, but at the same time there are other stressors in our lives, and other things which we need to take care of. And the important thing here is one more thing, that it's important to, you should, as a parent, you should go easy with yourself. For example, what we have discussed earlier, if you are able to follow these simple tips, if you're able to follow these simple tips, you can actually create a sense of balance in your daily life. That sense of balance is actually helps you to keep your stress levels in check. When these stress levels are in check, then it is easy to move around within your family and doing other things as well. So it's very much important that we should keep balance in our lives. It's very much important we should be able to identify those stressors and keep ourselves with that, keep ourselves updated with what is going on outside the world. Okay, uh, I can use mixed language. Okay, is
Sure, Dr.
okay.
Saab, please go ahead.
Okay, see, एक सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज, क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है कि कुछ लोग हमारे साथ जुड़े होंगे, दोज हु कैन बी बेनिफिटेड इन थ्रू अदर लैंग्वेज एज वेल, आई थिंक सो। इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ दैट मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा सा मिक्स हम यूज करें, तो वो भी अच्छा रहेगा।
कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम दोनों लैंग्वेजेस अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं, तो आप प्लीज दोनों इस्तेमाल करें, प्लीज डॉक्टर साहब।
ठीक ठीक है, ठीक। सो अगर हम अभी प्रेजेंट सर्कमस्टेंसेस की बात करें, तो हमारे लिए एक सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज जो है वो ये है कि हमारे जो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस बच्चों के लिए हैं, तो और पेरेंट्स के लिए मैं ये बता दूं कि इसमें जो भी ये ऑनलाइन क्लासेस जो चल रहे हैं, इसमें हमें बहुत सारी चीजों का ख्याल रखना पड़ता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हमारे लिए कुछ रूल्स बिल्कुल नए रूल्स थे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हम में से कोई पेरेंट बैंक में जॉब करता है, तो क्या होता है कि वो घर पे आजकल वो जॉब पे नहीं जा पाते, और घर पे हैं तो वो एज अ स्कूल टीचर घर पे कभी कभी अपने आप को देख रही है, कभी कभी उसका रोल एज अ स्कूल टीचर होता है। सो इन एडिशन all other responsibilities, we sometimes find ourselves to keep difficult to keep your children on track. That's important thing. तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है क्योंकि हमारे रूल शिफ्टिंग हो जाते हैं, तो हम कभी हम बाहर कुछ और थे and now we are stuck at home, we are not able to go outside and the role shifts. Sometimes we act as a homeschool teacher, sometimes we have some other roles, sometimes we act as a parent as well, because we have emotions and feelings as well. So कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि हम अपने बच्चों की तरफ ध्यान भी नहीं दे पाते अच्छी तरह से। तो ये एक पैंडेमिक में ये सब चीजें जो होती हैं, तो इनमें से हमें हम जो अभी फोकस करेंगे वो हम फोकस करेंगे कि हम अपने बच्चों को ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में कैसे हेल्प करें ताकि वो अपना काम अच्छे से होमवर्क कर पाए। So it's very important that we should keep this in mind that it's a stressful time for kids as well. वो एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज हमें सोचना चाहिए, अपने आप को ही स्ट्रेस नहीं है एज अ पेरेंट, बल्कि हम किड्स के लिए भी एक स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन है, ठीक है ना, एंड दैट इट्स नॉर्मल फॉर देम टू रिग्रेस और एक्ट अपॉन इन। अगर कभी थोड़ा सा नॉर्मल बिहेव नहीं करते हैं, कोई डिफरेंट बिहेवियर एग्जिबिट करते हैं, तो हमें ये भी समझना चाहिए उस टाइम कि ये एटलीस्ट ये नॉर्मल है, क्योंकि स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन है। स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन में अगर हम कभी ऐसा एक्ट करते हैं तो इट्स ओके, वी शुड नॉट टेक that kind of a behavior so serious that we should start beating our children or something, doing that kind of a wrong behavior that will create more problems in future. And one more important thing is here that if you are going easy with your kids, it can actually help reduce their stress level. Their stress level as well as a parent, your stress level will also be reduced. That has been seen. We need to be affectionate with our children. We need to show love, care, because that will actually help them to reduce their stress levels as well. So when we talk about the online classes and all those things, what needs to be done in that context, what needs to be done, that's we need to join forces with other parents as well. See, like we have a group of parents, we can reach out safely via phone, via social network, via social media. We can exchange tips, we can keep kids focused and engaged because of that. Because when you share with one another in a group, that how you are dealing with kids, what is the best way to deal, that's how you can actually help kids in a better way. It's good to join forces with other parents as well to help, to exchange the tips, to exchange your viewpoints, so that it's important that you can actually help kids in a good way. And we have to take care of other things as well, that we sometimes in this pandemic we are restricted in certain areas, we cannot move, so that we can have actually a virtual activity or study group which can actually fulfill the need of social interaction to your child, for your child as well. Because one of the important thing is that we have to keep the social distance, but we can actually be in touch with our friends, colleagues, relatives through the social interaction, through the social media as well, because that's very much important. It may reduce our isolation, it may reduce our social withdrawal as well.
डॉक्टर साहब, इसका है कि वी कैन बैलेंस थिंग्स। हमें पता है आस पड़ोस में क्या हो रहा है, स्ट्रेसफुल एनवायरनमेंट है, लॉकडाउन है, पैंडेमिक है, तो हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं वो पेशेंस डेवलप कर लेते हैं, बिकॉज वी नो दैट्स द ओनली वे आउट। मुझे बताएं कि बच्चों में क्या ऐसे सिम्टम्स हम देखें, क्योंकि एग्रेशन इज वन थिंग कि आजकल बच्चे बहुत एग्रेसिव हो गए हैं, और ऐसे कैसे सिम्टम्स हैं जिनको हमें मॉनिटर करने की जरूरत है और जिनको हमें एज पेरेंट्स हमें डील करने की जरूरत है, और कैसे डील करें हम पेरेंट्स। थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब।
बिल्कुल, हम उस चीज पे भी आएंगे। अभी थोड़ा सा हम इस चीज को, थोड़ा सा ऑनलाइन टीचिंग और इस चीज को इस होमवर्क जो बच्चों को कंप्लीट करना होता है उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा हम बताएंगे। उसके बाद उन सिम्टम्स पे भी आएंगे कि हम कैसे ये पता लग पाए कि वी आर एडिक्टेड टू इंटरनेट और वी आर मोर स्पेंडिंग मोर टाइम, एंड व्हाट आर द साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स। बट यहाँ पे मैं एक बात यहाँ पे आपको क्लियर बता दूं कि यहाँ पे हम कोई साइकोपैथोलॉजी और क्लिनिकल साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि what we are actually discussing here, it is simple interaction, discussion, and simple things which can add value to our daily life. हमें थोड़ा सा अपने उन चीजों को ठीक करना है डे टू डे लाइफ में, ताकि हम एक अच्छी लाइफ, एक प्रोडक्टिव लाइफ गुजार सकें अपने बच्चों के साथ, अपनी फैमिली के साथ। तो सिम्टम्स के बारे में भी हम बताएंगे थोड़ा सा बाद में, लेकिन अभी थोड़ा सा हम इस चीज को कंप्लीट करके आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो जैसे हमने कहा कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस के लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज, आप दूसरे पेरेंट्स के साथ भी बात कर सकते हैं, एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं अपने आइडियाज, टिप्स, कैसे हम अपने बच्चों को फोकस रखें, कैसे एंगेज रखें उनको अपने होमवर्क के साथ, स्कूल एंड अदर एक्टिविटीज के साथ। और दूसरा चीज जो हम उसमें कर सकते हैं कि वी कैन कनेक्ट अवर सेल्व्स विथ child's teacher as well. One thing we should remember here, that these teachers are also going through the pandemic. You should keep this thing in your mind, that it's not only as a parent we are going through this pandemic, we are suffering, we are facing enormous kind of a stress in our daily life, but these teachers are in the same community and they are also suffering. So it should be like you can talk to the teacher, but you should keep this thing in mind as well. They are also because there are many problems for right now for teachers as well. For example, if a government employee is working, he is getting his salary and all those things, but a teacher who is actually working in a private school, he may not be able to get salaries and all those things, because that everything has been actually right now, if we can see that सब कुछ चेंज हो गया, हमारे लिए बहुत सी चीजें चेंज हो गई. सो वी शुड थिंक अबाउट दोस टीचर्स एज वेल, बट इट्स वेरी मच इम्पोर्टेंट कि हम अपने टीचर्स, बिकॉज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट चीज जो यहाँ पे है कि एक टीचर को अपने इस स्टूडेंट के बारे में एक बहुत ही अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है अबाउट हिज एकेडमिक एक्टिविटीज, एकेडमिक स्ट्रेंथ्स, अबाउट हिज वीकनेस. ठीक है, तो ये एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि हम अपने टीचर्स के साथ कनेक्ट करें, ताकि वो हमें इस बच्चे के बारे में बता सकें कि हम कैसे इसके साथ डील करें, इसकी स्ट्रेंथ्स क्या है, इसकी वीकनेस क्या है, इसकी एकेडमिक एक्टिविटीज कैसी थी स्कूल में, और अब इसको आगे क्या कैसे जाना है. ठीक है ना. सो they can actually help you as well in individualized learning plans as well. So they can actually make a kind of those individual learning plans for the student as well, because they know. But as a parent, you need to be honest about what is working with home tutoring and what isn't. So it's good that sometimes as a parent we think that we should not tell teachers about our children that they are not able to do good in their in finishing their homework. They are not able to spend much time in there, because sometimes we need to be honest to get to that level where we can actually get help from the teacher as well. So it's very much important that we should connect with teachers as well, to have their point of view about the strengths, weakness and other kind of things in enhancing the academic activities of the child. So, and one more important thing is when we talk about the home tuition and all those things, so it's actually we should create a kind of learning routine. That's very much important. What happens when we have a routine in our daily lives? It gives a kind of sense of normalcy among our children, because we are living in an uncertain time. We are living in such a time where we can actually have nothing to do. In some days we don't feel that we have anything to do, because we can eat, because we don't have to go anywhere. कहीं नहीं जाना है बाहर, कुछ नहीं करना है, ना जॉब है, ना बिजनेस है, ना शॉपिंग है, ना स्पोर्ट्स है, ना कोई एक्टिविटीज है, क्योंकि सब कुछ बंद पड़ा हुआ है बाहर. तो हम इसमें क्या करते हैं, कभी कभी नहीं, चलो आज खाना हमने लंच हमने 11 बजे खाया, तो चलो आज 11 बजे नहीं खाते हैं तो 12 बजे खाते हैं. तो नो, एक सेंस ऑफ जो रूटीन है वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है यहाँ पे, because it creates a kind of sense of normalcy among our children, that everything is going normal, everything is going good, because we are doing everything on time. That's very much important. So एक learning routine create करना बहुत ही important. तो learning routine create करने के लिए हमें क्या करना है? We have just create a general outline that we think we can maintain on most days, that still leaves room for a flexibility. Like ऐसा एक शेड्यूल, ऐसा एक रूटीन तैयार करें जो हम कंटिन्यूस हम फॉलो कर पाए. तो ऐसा भी नहीं है कि we will stick to that. There should be a flexible kind of a thing. There should be a बीच में हम उसको flexibility उसमें होनी चाहिए कि हम थोड़ा सा उसको उधर इधर कर सकते हैं, लेकिन लेकिन ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, एक रूटीन होना चाहिए। और
Sure.
बहुत एक चीज यहाँ पे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि हम अगर ये पॉसिबल हो तो वी शुड ट्राई टू डिजिग्नेट अ वर्क स्पेस फॉर ईच मेंबर ऑफ द फैमिली. That's most important thing if it is possible. See, if we have 4 children in our home, अगर हमारे 4 बच्चे हैं घर में, अगर एक ही कमरे में, एक ही रूम में उन चारों को बिठाया जाए, वो पढ़ाई कम करेंगे और बाकी चीजें वो ज्यादा करेंगे. तो इसलिए थोड़ा सा उनको अपनी अपनी जगह देंगे पढ़ने के लिए, इफ दैट इज पॉसिबल, तो वो बहुत ही अच्छा रहता है, क्योंकि अटेंशन और कंसंट्रेशन उनका फोकस्ड रहता है और वो उस चीज को धीरे धीरे एनहांस होता है उनका वो अटेंशन, उनका से वो धीरे धीरे इंटरेस्ट बहुत ज्यादा स्टडीज में डेवलप होता है फिर. तो एक और इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है कि जिसको हम कहते हैं कि हाउ वी कैन एक्चुअली सेट गोल. एक गोल को सेट करना, एंड देन वी हैव टू सेलिब्रेट देयर कंप्लीशन एज वेल. व्हेन वी हैव सेट अ गोल, we are going to reach there, and when we complete that goal, we need to actually celebrate that goal as well, because sometimes what happens, setting up small rewards, like watching an episode of a favorite TV show, we can tell our children that if you are going to complete this thing, we can allow you to watch a favorite TV show. That's it. Just a reward can actually do wonders in tackling the like unpleasant. Sometimes we have those kind of unpleasant assignments in our children, that they don't actually are interested in those kind of assignments, so they feel that we can. So we can put a small reward. We can put a small reward there, and we can actually celebrate those goals as well at the end of the day. So it is important we can involve each family member in that, if that is possible. If we all set few goals and plan, we can plan breaks together. That seems a kind of sense of teamwork is building up in our child, that we are working as a team, and that gives them more efficient ways to tackle to complete those assessments as well. So we can also be creative with our lessons. So as a parent, doing some kind of an experiment. For example, if we are reading something about our how if there is something in our science book that about the plants and something, so we can actually do some kind of a small experiment. We can go out and have some seeds, and we can put these seeds into some land, and we can actually, after a few days, 5 days, 6 days, when that plant comes out, this actually where we can teach our kids that how we can actually do some kind of that makes their lessons interesting, and that actually can be a good way of bringing lessons to life as well. That's very much important. We can actually do small experience with cooking as well, experiments with some other technology kind of thing as well. So these are the small experiences which can actually be creative for these children, and they can actually bring lessons to life as well. That's the important thing which we can do. And we also should have to consider the child's strength as well. If they love to draw and write something, I think this pandemic is the best time. It's one of the best time to set them free with the pencils, papers, and other kinds of stuff, so that they can actually learn, explore more new ideas, so they can actually learn more and be creative in some ways. So it's very much important that we should take these things into consideration as well. So now we come to when we deal with our children's fears and stress. Now we come to those signs and symptoms. What signs and symptoms we usually see in our children? See, one thing I will make it clear here in the beginning, that it's important that we are, as adults, if we have some kind of a stress, if you feel anxious, if we are depressed, or we have any kind of a stress in our daily lives, we talk to other people about those stress, because we are able to identify these stress. So if we are able to identify these stress, and we are talking to other people about those stress, about those problems in our life, but we should remember these things. Our children don't have that capacity, because they can't identify these stress. they're not able sometimes to identify these, because they feel something weird is going on, something different is going on with me, but they are not able to figure it out. They are not able to identify, and they are not able to talk about those. Now, what is the now what is the best thing we can actually do? We can actually watch their behaviors. Like, whenever we see a child is suffering from a kind of stress, there is a kind of fear as well, so we can actually say that they must show some symptoms, some behaviors about it. Like they might show kind of a restlessness. They might be kind of aggressive in between. They might show some types of hyperactivity as well in between. They might show sometimes they can show they don't care what as a parent you are saying to them. Sometimes they have those anger outbursts as well. So this is how we actually deal with our children when they are stressful, when they have fears related to different kinds of things. But this time we COVID-19 COVID-19 has changed their schooling, friendships, and normal routine as well. So it should be a top priority to address your child's fears, and reassure their physical and emotional well-being as well. That's most important thing. So there are few symptoms we usually see in our children when they feel stressful or they feel anxious. Like one, that there would be kind of irritability, जिससे हम कहते हैं कभी चिड़चिड़ापन दिखाना, वो सब ठीक है ना. They sometimes don't care what others are saying, okay, as a parent or as an elder member of the family. Or sometimes what they do, they will show the anger outbursts as well. They will show some anger outbursts as well. Sometimes they will do. Sometimes they will show some anger outbursts as well. Sometimes they will show some kind of hyperactivity as well, because they are not able to figure out what they are actually going through. As an adult we can, but as children they are not able to identify those depressive features. They sometimes tell you about that, I feel something, but they can't explain what it is. So it's important that we should know how to deal with child's fears and stress. And for that, what we need to do is we need to talk at an age appropriate level. That's most important. If your child is young, we can give that much of information which is needed. We cannot give them so much information that their imagination will run wild. That's one of the important thing. We should, as a parent, must understand this thing, that if a child is young, if he is not able to understand that what is happening outside, what we are going through, and this and that, so keep the information limited and tell them that this is what is happening outside, and for that you need to be very much honest. That's most important thing. Instead, try to answer any question they might have, but it's okay not to know everything. You can tell your children, you can tell yourself as a parent as well, that it's okay not to know everything. Okay, because when you are going deep into having the information about what's happening around, what's happening there, what is going through in our daily lives, why we are not able to go to school, why marks are shut, why everything is closed. So if you are going to give every information to your child, that will make them stressful, and that's actually that will actually create more problems, more symptoms in our children. So but if at the same time, if your child is older and he may be able to understand the things, it's most important that we should share the accurate information from authentic sources as well. We should not, like we are seeing what's happening in our social media. There are fake news, fake information circulating that create more panic, panic in our children. That's how it's much more important that we should keep the accurate information, and we should get that information from the accurate sources as well. And one more thing is that we should be able to answer questions simply and honestly. That's as a parent we should know. If you, for example, if your child has questions about the pandemic, know that honesty is the best policy. It's very important that we should keep our answers specific, keep our answers honest. We should not mold it like, we should not pretend it like it's not like that. It's not like that. If he's asking, that means he's able to understand. But while you don't want to frighten your children as well, as a parent, we sometimes feel that if I'm telling him or her that it's this much is happening outside, there might be a kind of fear. See, when there is this real situation, we need to see that we should create a kind of atmosphere where they trust us. If you are giving wrong information and tomorrow he's actually getting the accurate information from outside, he may lose the trust on his parents. So it's important to tell them about the safety precautions. It's important to tell them about the social distancing, washing their hands during the pandemic. But it's very much important to play safe, like to be honest about the information we are actually sharing with our children.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. I think we'll take questions now.
How much time we have? We have 10 minutes more.
Yes, minutes.
Yeah. So there are other things like keeping healthy routines as well, because we know that the structure and consistency is the important thing in our kids. Maintaining regular meal time, bedtimes, for example, can help your child feel safe and secure. That's very much important. We should establish healthy routines that will help our children to schedule their timing in our day-to-day life. So follow safety advice. That's much more important. Reinforce the importance of hygiene and hand washing. That's important thing we should consider when we talk about the health tips. And practice what you preach. That's most important thing. That as a parent, we sometimes see that we are not actually practicing those things which we actually preach our children to practice. That's very much important. Follow social distancing as a parent so that child can actually follow that. Keep yourself updated with the information, and whenever you are going out, and wash your hands when you come back, and your child will do that. If you are not doing that, he will not do that as well. So it's very much important to make a kind of impression on your children that you are doing it and you have also to do it. So that sends a positive message among our children. Sometimes when we talk about behavioral problems, sometimes we have behaviors like often when children misbehave, it's a reaction to the amount of stress that we have actually talked in the beginning, that it's actually the stress which create more problems in our daily lives. When you feel that there's a stress kind of a thing, then you feel you should assume that there should be some kind of reaction to that, and there should be some kind of behaviors related to that, associated with that kind of stress as well. So keep watch on those behaviors and keep talking with professionals about how to reduce those behaviors which are problematic. So there are other things which can, like when we talk about the monitoring child social media use, that's much more important nowadays, because children are very much spending very much time on social media. So it's very important that we should track that. We can use different kind of things, like, see, I will tell you some few, because we have less time here, that signs that social media is affecting your child. We have few signs in that, like sometimes spending more time on social media than with real world friends. So though this time we're not able to talk with our friends, we are not going to meet them, but online, if you are spending much time on social media, on Facebook, on WhatsApp or something, then it's a sign that something is going on, something it may affect your child. Comparing himself unfavorably with others. If a child is comparing himself that I'm not looking good, I'm not having good physical structure or something like that, it means there is something going on this social media. Because of that, it's happening. These thoughts are coming out. अगर वो distract हो रहा है अपने school work से, तो उस टाइम भी आपको ये सोचना पड़ेगा कहीं ना कहीं कोई कुछ चीज इफेक्ट कर रही है, एंड नाउअडेज सोशल मीडिया इज द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग व्हिच कैन अफेक्ट दैट. सो सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन की बात, स्लीप प्रॉब्लम हो रही है या एंजाइटी और डिप्रेशन के सिम्टम्स में थोड़ा इजाफा हो रहा है, तो उस चीज को भी आप माइंड में रखिएगा कि ये इट माइट बी बिकॉज ऑफ द सोशल मीडिया. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि मॉडिफाइंग, हम कैसे इन चीज को मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं, कि कैसे हम अपने बच्चों की हेल्थ को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं विथ द यूज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया. वी नीड टू रिड्यूस टाइम ऑनलाइन फॉर आवर चिल्ड्रन. सो वी कैन यूज सम मीडिया ट्रैकिंग एप्स आर देयर जो हमारे लिए ट्रैक करते हैं हमारे टाइम को, ठीक है ना. तो वी कैन turn off our phones maybe 2 or 3 times a day for half an hour, for 15 minutes or something like that. So this can help you. Or we can have a rule that you should not bring phone to the bed. That will help you as well. We can actually disable the social media notifications as well. So these are things which we can use, and we can actually modify our social media use.
Dr. Saab, there's one pertinent question that I want to ask. One last question, after that we'll conclude. Dr. Saab, there are specially abled children. How to deal with them? Because there are some children who will not be able to tell us that they are undergoing stress, and dealing with them as such is a challenge for the parents. What do you advise for the parents who are parents of autistic children, who are parents of specially abled children, who have different challenges before them?
One thing, as a parent of especially able children, we should keep this thing in our mind, that we should accept the fact that the first thing, we should not deny it that they are suffering. That's very much important. When there is an acceptance about their condition, about the child that he's autistic, about the child who's suffering from ADHD or some other kind of psychological issues. So we should develop a kind of acceptance first, and that acceptance will actually give us the ways that how to deal with that child as well. So there are many ways we can deal with them. We can actually have a separate timing for these children, because you have 3 children at home, 2 are very good, they don't have any kind of problem, but one is specially abled. We should pay some more attention to the specially abled children, because they actually need it. They are not able to focus their attention and concentration on studies. They are not able to focus. They are not good at making relations with others, like siblings. So that we can pay more attention to them, we can allocate.
Anybody else who wants to ask a question, because we will be calling off the meeting? Anyone else who wants to ask any question? Okay, everyone who joined in, thank you very much for joining in and listening to Dr. Saab. He put forth many points which are very, very important for us as parents, and we have to deal with this challenge very positively. Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for being there. Thanks for listening me. Thank you. Thank you, Shifan. Thank you.
Thank you so much.